August 13th meeting of the Town Board of Oneonta. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as every meeting, we generally start with the privilege of the floor. That is where if you have something to say for the good of the order, you could raise your hand, we'll call on you. If you could please keep to 3 minutes. State your name for the record as well. Or you already have one. If you would like to go ahead.
Sharon Corrado, 5348 State Highway 7, Oneonta, you know. I've been talking about this for going on 5 years now. 6, and it's getting worse. 5346 is a mess. We've had to dispatch 4 rabid skunks. We've got rats running all over. The place is a total mess. It's getting worse. I'm going to let Gordon, who's been over there, tell you exactly what's in there. On the other side of me, they've got brush that is taller than I am and just about as wide as these 3 roads. And we've got some very unfriendly snakes in there. We've got the northeastern rattler, and we got the copperheads. When I go down, and you guys know my property, the L shape, we got horses, I go down, he goes down to cut that grass and trim it. We keep it short to try and keep him out of there. How many have you cut up lately with a tractor?
22.
22 poisonous snakes. I mean, you go over to 5346. A little kitten this big, doesn't feed it, doesn't do anything, figures it can kill rats. The rats are like this, not counting the tail. As I told you, they got in my house. I don't know if you people are familiar with Persian carpets. Before it was Iran. My husband was the head of the manor at Manor St. George. He gave him 4 of those antique Persian carpets. I was about ready to send them to Sotheby's, 2 of them. $8,000 later. They didn't get there because the rats got in my basement and ate them, among other things. This is stuff that's been going on. I just recently talked to my attorney. I told you, Lieutenant. Tell them what's in there.
My name's Gordon Hawkins, live at 5348 State Highway 7. Basically, what I've seen Eddie does is he goes down at nights, he dumps his raw food over his fence. You see the rats come running all over. I've seen snakes into his brush piles. I told him to get rid of the brush. Once anything done, and I've gotten accused of cutting down their trees, stealing their brush, burning their leaves, stealing their leaves. I mean, it's a total mess, and I don't understand what can be done. I know in the city, the people that I go.
We certainly aren't wildlife management. We can't regulate that, but we certainly, if any laws.
But you do have about keeping the place cleaned up. It's a nuisance. You do have a nuisance law.
That's correct. It's a
And that
blighted
you
property.
can do, but because of this nuisance, it's drawing all this wildlife and dangerous wildlife in there.
Right, so what we could do is, we did, if you come frequently, so you might remember that we recently passed a blighted property law. We could send our code enforcer, our new code enforcer, to go down with the checklist and see how that fits the criteria. And then we have actionable items.
Can I get a copy of that law and the criteria?
I'm sorry?
Can I get a copy of that?
The law? Yeah, it's available.
Online. I don't do online, so
Go stop at the code office.
I'll come and see a code officer.
Yep. Come grab that and you'll see. It's almost like a point system similar to the city, and the code enforcer can come out, take a look at it, and see how it checks out.
Yeah, because my valuation on the house went down like $200.
Well, let's start with there. Let's start there, and then we can see, if we move the needle at all.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that would, in the back?
Maria, I live at 44 Jefferson Ave in the town of Oneonta. And I came to share actually some thoughts about a proposal, and I shared it with the planning board, so I thought I would come here to share it. I see it's not on the agenda, but I'm going to share anyway. So this is related to the proposal of the data center in the ag residential zone of County Route 9. And I am by no means anti-business. I've had a business here for 40 years in Oneonta, and I still do. So having said that, I don't think that an agricultural residential zone is the appropriate place for an industrial style business. There's plenty of locations suited to just about any business without encroaching on a residential zone. The town comprehensive plan adopted, the town board actually adopted the comprehensive plan a few years back, and they committed to following it. And in that plan, a business industrial zone was extended all the way from the middle south side, it didn't go all the way down, all the way to the town line. And there's a lot of empty buildings out there. Oneida Street is an industrial zone. There's some empty buildings there. The industrial park is set up for just that purpose, and it's shovel-ready for businesses. So I feel like if the town board approves a location that's agricultural, residential, for an industrial-style business, it sets a precedent. It sets a precedent for any business to go just about anywhere in any neighborhood. Because then if another business comes and asks for a variance, and this one goes through, if you say no, then you're setting yourself up for a lawsuit, a costly lawsuit. It's happened before. So I feel like board members are elected to grow the town responsibly while protecting the taxpayers and their properties in a variety of ways. In short, if this project is approved in a residential zone, I feel like it's a free-for-all for anybody in any neighborhood and anywhere in the town. And in that case, why bother to have planning and zoning boards? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll submit this to get it on record.
Is there anyone else?
Hi everyone, good evening. As I walked into this room tonight, my eyes went straight to the front door. There's a certificate that claims this community and this town board has been recognized as being a pro-housing community. That's supposed to mean something. It's supposed to mean that you stand for housing that's affordable, safe, and built with people who live here in mind. But this proposal, this push to rezone and greenlight a Stewart's gas station where the Emmons farmhouse stands, tells a different story. You're asking us to believe that putting a gas station at one of the most dangerous intersections in the area somehow makes our community stronger. You're asking us to accept the loss of green space and the destruction of a piece of our history in exchange for more traffic, more environmental risk, and more sprawl. There are retirees who have given decades to this town, educators who have taught our kids, healthcare workers who have cared for our families, and yet you're willing to cast all of that aside for the benefit of outside developers. Let's be clear about what's at stake. This proposal increases traffic at an already dangerous intersection. It paves over green space and threatens our waters. It strips away part of our history for a gas station and convenience store. And it feeds the kind of sprawl that chips away at what makes Oneonta, Oneonta. We are told that this is about progress. But progress for who? Not for the people who live here. Not for the families struggling to find affordable housing every day. Not for the community that values its natural resources and green space. This is progress for outside developers and corporate profit. If this is what pro-housing community stands, then maybe the state should come and take that certificate back. Because it doesn't belong at that front door of this board that puts corporate convenience over neighborhood well-being. We are not saying no to change by any means. We are saying no to change that comes at the cost of our history, our safety, our water, and our quality of life. There are better options, adaptive reuse of existing buildings, locally owned businesses that reflect our values, and development that puts neighbors first. That's what real pro-housing leadership looks like. We are submitting a petition today. The voices of our neighbors will be on record, and let me be clear, gone are the days of politics as usual. The people will hold you accountable for these decisions. We will not let outside money decide the future of Oneonta. We will not let our history be erased for profit, and we will take back our neighborhoods. You have a choice tonight. You can rubber stamp a project that serves outside interests, or you can reject this proposal and work with the community to find solutions that truly make Oneonta a pro-housing community. The choice tonight isn't just about zoning, it's about whether you stand with the people who live here or with these who only see Oneonta as a place to cash in and profit from our resources. Thank you. And I'd like to submit this in the records.
I also wanted to speak about the rezoning. Gas station and data centers sound like great projects. New business is good for the town, which is why the comprehensive plan designated land specifically for these uses. Families, those present and new families yet to arrive, are what keeps our schools and businesses thriving. We need to protect our residential areas and direct these industrial projects to the industrial areas already present and available. Once we start allowing zoning changes for industrial use in residential areas, no property owner in the town will be safe from this disruptive land use. Their property values as well as their way of life will be compromised. Someone who comes into this area and knowingly purchases residential agricultural property seeking to use it for a use designated otherwise should not be allowed to bend the zoning laws to meet their purpose. It matters to me that the board protect our families in these residential agricultural areas. And I consider this when I vote.
My name's Keith Shillow. I've lived in Oneonta for 15 years. I moved recently to Baker Hill, Delaware. And I've been trying to educate myself about this data center as well. And I've got questions more than I do complaints yet. But, so first of all, this company wants to put a garage server system, which, as other speakers have mentioned, could be located anywhere, probably more suitable places in our business parks, etc. I noticed that SUNY Oneonta has entered an agreement with this company, which really intrigues me. I guess I'm going to try to find out, since it should be a public document, what that entails. I should also note that one of the board members is an employee of the college, which presents a conflict of interest when you do vote on the zoning change. And then, finally, I just wonder, is this a way to get your foot in the door? Why zone 153 acres instead of a small parcel? Why put it there anyway? It just doesn't make sense. And I guess if they're going to change policy, it should make logical sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'd like to echo the sentiment of you.
Could you state your name?
Oh, sorry, my name is Jason Chase. I've lived here for 4 years, but my wife's lived here for her life. I think that's an excellent point about just the size and scale. And I think understanding what these AI data centers do to communities is really important. So not only do I agree with everyone that we shouldn't rezone residential areas for that purpose, but we should be very concerned about these coming to our town, because the places where they have built data centers, they use an exorbitant amount of water. Residents have been short their own water supply. People experience outages on electricity. They've had to pay more money for the additional electricity uses that these data centers use. And in Memphis, there was a data center that actually used up so much power, the city's out of power, they started illegally using gas power and polluting the air. These companies don't care about us. They're not going to help our community, and they're going to use all of our resources, and we're going to pay the cost. So I think it's a huge mistake to allow it at all in Oneonta, but especially in the residential area. Thank you.
Thank you. Come back.
Hey, I'm Nicole. I just moved to the area and I moved here because it's absolutely gorgeous and I want to spend the rest of my life here. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I lived in a beautiful residential farm agricultural district quite like this that was overrun by development and it looks nothing like it did when I grew up. And I came out here and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And the last speaker just spoke very clearly about what these data centers do. They use up as much electricity as an entire town. So where's electricity going to come from, right? So now we're going to have to build the electric grid larger, right? Maybe that's why they're putting a pipeline up from here, right? Creates a tremendous drain on the water supply. Where's that water going to come from? If you open the doors and let this one data center in, you're saying, we're okay with this, and there will be more data centers. They don't put these things in places where they think that people will fight back. They don't put these places in their own neighborhoods, okay? They put them in places where they think people are poor and uneducated and won't fight back. And you need to tell these mothers, excuse me, that you are not uneducated, that you know what they're up to, and that they need to go home and put that where they live. That's it.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cy Maurice. I've been living here for about a year and a half. And I heard about the plans to build a data center, and I also have serious concerns. I'm also familiar with the case of the AI data center we built in Memphis, and the consequences have not even just been the level of economic disruption or displacing people, but these data centers, they consume a lot of energy and they put out what are called nitrous oxides or NOx, you'll see them referred to. And what these pollutants do is whatever sort of underlying respiratory conditions exist in the community, they will take them and make them several times worse. They're probably the worst kind of pollutants, and they are generally a leading cause of death in a lot of communities, especially communities with a lot of retirees, and we're already seeing the early manifestations of that in Memphis. And given that this is a community with a mix of, there are between college students and a lot of retirees, who come out here, I don't see how it makes any sense or is wise to create or to promote a kind of development that is genuinely putting the lives, in a very real sense. This is not an abstract thing. This is not, down the line in 30 years you may see results. We're already seeing people developing new respiratory conditions now in Memphis, right, from this addition. And I don't see how it's wise to literally invite that in to a community here where there are a lot of people who have deep roots here and can't just pick up and leave at the drop of a hat. So I'd like you to keep that in mind, whatever decision you make.
Okay.
Everybody. So I was here at the June meeting. I missed the last one, I couldn't make it, but Brett, I recall that you said that you were going to refer this data center issue to the planning board. Did I get that
That's
right? Okay. Can I ask what the recommendation was of the planning board?
That's a matter of public record. You can certainly.
I did
that
look,
up.
I have it, but
but
it was
so you-
limited. She said, well, I'll just say, on July 7th, she said that the town board referred a zoning map amendment application from EcoYoda Inc. I'm paraphrasing, for review and comment. Chair McGinnis thanked everyone for coming and that the board would discuss, and she would be forwarding a referral response to the supervisor. So
Well,
what is the response? Could you share that with the taxpayers?
that's something I should. Okay. I just want to make sure legally there was
I
any
totally get it.
encumbrances on that.
Yeah.
There were concerns.
Yeah,
It was just a referral. I can't not paraphrase exactly what they said, but it was, I wouldn't say it was a negative declaration, they weren't in favor
Right.
of moving forward.
okay. She did say, you know, she stated, well, it was a brilliant idea, the board overall questioned the location. So I'm wondering if the town is going to heed the planning board's advice since she referred it to them.
Well, the applicants have put their application on pause,
Okay,
so it's obviously not on the agenda.
yeah,
So at this point, there is no action
okay,
until we hear further information.
okay,
I couldn't tell you if they're gonna withdraw their application, continue with their application. That's not something that we're gonna make a decision on, that's something they have to decide. And until that time, there is no action.
okay. Well, I just want to echo, you know, what I said in June, what a lot of people, I don't know where she is, but this woman. The legal precedent, I mean, I could make a lot of arguments. We want to feel secure in our homes and our neighborhoods where we bought with the zoning in place, and we're all pro-business. But I think creating a legal precedent is a real problem. And, you know, we're all paying for lawsuits. I think the town doesn't have a great track record, as I recall. I mean, that racetrack and I think there was a trailer park that a gentleman spoke about in June. I mean, the town's lost, and it's very stressful for residents to have to sue their own town and contend with these issues. And you know, so we're all pro-business, but this is, I guess I'd like to hear a commitment from the town that, you know, you're going to abide by the planning board's recommendation. Like, I understand you got a lot of pressure from, you know, the chamber and from SUNY probably.
We were completely independent from any of those entities. We would make our decisions based on what
Great.
laws are in front of us.
Our zoning laws and our comprehensive
So,
plan, right?
but there is technically no application in front of us, so at this point,
Okay.
there's,
Okay, so, how did the application disappear? It was there, it was referred to the planning board, where is it go? I'm just trying to find out what's going on. No one seems to know what's going on.
No, the applicant requested that it be adjourned from the
Oh.
agenda, so
Okay,
until the applicant submits additional materials or submits a new application or restarts, it won't be on the agenda.
okay. I just think no one knows what's going on, and like clear communication is really helpful, you know, so that people aren't like creating conspiracy theories in their minds. I have just two more things. So I've been told by multiple sources that Eco Yoda is suing the town. Is that accurate?
it's not accurate.
No, okay. And then my request is that when I was looking through all the minutes today, none of our comments in June, people who had commented on the Eco Yoda project were included in the comments, but other petitioners' comments were. I was wondering if you guys would consider amending the comments. I know you have recordings, I think you do. Could you please include, I think there were over a half a dozen people who spoke here,
I'll go back.
and it's a public record. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Ladies,
Yes, I spent a little time looking at the Yoda, Eco Yoda company and analyzing it, which is my background. I specialized in analyzing companies for 40 years. And what I found is that it's a subsidiary of a subsidiary of a company based in Mumbai, India, that has a 600-acre data center operation near Mumbai, and another one near Delhi, India, and a third one someplace else. They have acquired, as you know, a property that has a garage where they can start a data center, but it also has 153 acres. So I would suspect that they are planning that the initial plan is really a toehold position, as you would call it in the business world, where they're just going to start, and then they're going to use all that additional property over time to build out data centers covering that 153 acres, which would be, cause a lot of pollution, as one of the other speakers mentioned,
and put a huge stress on the water supply system and the electric utility. And so I just wanted to add my perspective that this is probably just the proposal they're putting before us now is just the beginning of their longer-term plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I only learned about this data center proposal this morning, which gave me a little bit of concern about the transparency about this. There's been a post on the Franklin Town Facebook that happened to pop up, and I chased it down a little bit more to try to learn some more. I wasn't able to find any proposal documents from the Oneonta folks. Did they provide anything like that folks were able to read?
They had an application, yes, they have an application.
Okay, and is that available to find online?
No, that would not be, you'd have to, what would be the
Foiley office, Foiley clerk's office.
Oh, right, very good. So, yeah, and then in closing, ever so briefly, I think there are concerns about resource usage, environmental impact issues, and also the fact that my NICEC bill has gone up 59% since last June. And I understand NICEC's position ordinarily is to say, well, it's aging infrastructure, but I'm a little concerned that it may have also been a buildup to be able to provide power for data centers and similar folks looking to talk to persuadable towns and set up as some of the other folks here have said. So I think you should bear in mind the burden on this town to be paying extremely high electric rates that may be in support of businesses that may not have our best interests at heart. Thank you.
just as a quick comment, that the NICEG infrastructure improvements are to support some of the governor's initiatives for all electric homes, charging stations and things of that nature, because our current infrastructure cannot sustain that. So that's what NICEG's
Part of what they're doing. Yeah.
and they've suggested or petitioned the Public Service Commission for another 23.6%.
Yes, I know. It'll be a big number.
Yeah.
Go solar, quick. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Or we move on to?
Yeah, Rex Slayton, I've lived in West Oneonta for 20-some years, but as concerned with what's going on with this, being West Oneonta's already hit with the baseball park and all the extra traffic going through here. I mean, it's gotta be like 4 times as much as it used to be on County Route 8. County Route 9 is right up the road for that, and it's not a good location for it anyway. A lot of runoff of water off the mountains. Direct source, it's really, in all ways, the same thing that happened with Chester Realty up there on the hill, which right on County Route 8, where they were trying to put like 115 houses and complex and everything else that was luckily shut down. Same thing with that. We weren't even notified, and we were right next to the property. They come into the towns, they think it will go unnoticed, just like the baseball park has done, really. I mean, they just bought, some 60 more acres over there at Lady Farm, which we know in 5 years are gonna try to expand or something more, and then that's more traffic on this side. We came to West Oneonta knowing it was a quiet town, kind of away from the city, and it's turning into the city. In all ways, they got enough money that they're gonna throw money at the golf course, and it's gonna be such a crazy amount. The people that own the place have all the money in the world, so chances are it's gonna be the whole complex of this whole block is gonna be based off from that baseball camp. And not that the data center is any different, but what is West Oneonta? It was all residential. You couldn't even, I got slammed for even having a business that's mobile. And it's just getting to the point where, you come down on County Route 8, I'd love to know what the new traffic amount is as far as like having some type of, but you've got, we deal with the trucks over here at 5 o'clock in the morning leaving, and it's just, we were told that was okay. with what they were doing. They redid the big old tank right up here, you look out here for the company that does the thing, when's it gonna stop? You know, it is supposed to be a residential area. It's becoming a really, you know, whatever you want to call it. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. I know that we're already subject to the traffic, there's really nothing we can do. It does bring in some money, but most of that money goes right to Harris. So, just a thought, we really should figure out what's going on, because I mean, they were able to somehow get the markings of camp or school, even though they're not a school, and as far as I know, in any laws of the state, it has to be marked what it is, and there's no school there. Baseball is not a school, but yet they've got a marking of school. I don't know how they got that approved.
That was the DOT. The DOT put that.
Still not right. It should be camp or, like, I mean, you go down to Pennsylvania, they're all marked camps, I mean, but school, I mean, kind of a, it's just unmarked. It should be, you know, caution, whatever, but school markings, because then you're confused. People coming out of the area, they're thinking during the day, in the middle of fall, so they're slowing down to 35 because they think it's a school. So that's good. Nothing major.
Thank you.
Hyde, just not to put you on the spot or with the rest of the board, but I've been on record in the past couple meetings that I wasn't interested in pursuing a zone change for the data center. If one or more of the other board members were to agree or support that, could we just, you know, just put this to rest tonight, or does it have to continue? I honestly don't understand how the process.
Since it's not an agenda item, there's nothing to vote on, so certainly the board can express its feelings, but yeah, there's nothing to vote on tonight.
Okay. Oh, all right, I wasn't sure, I thought it was kind of up to the discretion of the board, and I wasn't sure of the dynamic.
The PD is definitely up to the discretion of the board, but we would have to have an application or action to act on.
Okay,
But, yeah. No,
because
agree
I
that you
don't really
expressed that on the
understand.
record, yeah.
Okay, I'm in the dark a little bit, okay, thank you.
My name's Rachel Jody. I live in Oneonta my whole life. I own on West End now on East One Drive, and I'm a software engineer. So I work with AI. I'm actually involved in several AI projects. I use these data centers. And one thing that I want to point out that no one's mentioned here is that these things are huge and largely unmanned. This will not bring any jobs. This will not bring any people. It's not going to cause any traffic besides a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening for people to come and go. It's mostly going to be remotely worked by people out in India. So this is not going to bring any money to the community, and all it's going to do is consume everything that everyone has said about the environment is nothing compared to what is really going to happen to our water and our electric. It's not going to bring in any other businesses because it will eat all the resources, and the other businesses, sorry, they won't have electric to build more things. This is it. If we put this here, that's all we get. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's kind of comes from a sort of cowardly side of things where you're not willing to sort of vote on something because there's not actually a measure to vote on right now. But you can actually pass a resolution at any time saying that you don't want to actually have these in your area, and you can amend all that stuff. And so if you want to say that you don't want to have data centers in non-zone places, you have the ability to vote on that right now as a resolution if one of you were to bring that up, right? As opposed to voting on this particular case. And you could actually make a blanket judgment right now that would, you know, work on behalf of what everyone has been saying to them.
Hi, would I be able to make a motion of that nature tonight? Is that permissible? If I could just make a motion and see if we get a second?
I mean, a resolution's not a binding act. I would say that, as was stated, the board at any time could amend the zoning law, or we would have to go through the process of introducing that local law. The board has the ability to do a moratorium, which would prohibit any applications until the local law was adopted. Those would be more traditional mechanisms to either put a pause on any future applications with a moratorium, or amend the zoning law to either permit or prohibit in certain areas that specific use. But in terms of a resolution, it's not, the resolution's not binding. I mean, it could be, it's a statement from the board if that's what the board would like to do. It's not gonna prohibit applications.
Because right now it's not an allowable use in the RA 40. It's not an allowable use, so it's technically a moratorium. Why would that, I mean, we wouldn't really need to go down that route because, right, it's not allowed.
The community has spoken, the people want to be protected.
Let me float a resolution. I would make a motion that we have a resolution that we don't pursue a zone change for this type of industrial or activity in an RA 40 as was requested at the May and June meetings.
There's a problem with that is that they're not requesting to do it in RA 40, they're looking for a zoning map amendment or a zone change. So it's already not permitted in RA 40.
Correct.
So that's already the case.
So are you saying that I can't, as a board member, make a resolution?
No, I'm saying you can, but I'm just making sure you understand that what you're saying or the resolution you're making doesn't have any consequence because it's already not allowed.
Well, I just feel that, you know, having angst for the people who want to do the project and angst for the people that live in the community, you know, both sides. I just don't want to have things drawn out, you know, where people are getting upset and concerned on both sides of the issue. So my resolution is up. So I made the motion.
I just wonder if it's better, so Chaim, let me ask you, is it better if we as board members just speak our opinions at this time, if we want to, which could then help people understand if there was a vote, which there isn't because there's nothing to vote on, but if there was a vote at this time to come up, people would have a sense of how we might vote.
Yeah.
I'm apprehensive on the resolution, not because I disagree with the or, you know, but because it's already not allowed. So it's like making it doesn't, it's not a resolution for anything because you already can't do it there.
But I'm saying that if the board would like to regulate that specific use, which we currently do not have, that you could, if you had areas in the town that you would allow that, that's something that you could have a set local law that regulated data mining centers, said this is where it's permitted, said it's not permitted anywhere. Like, that's up to the board. But board members are certainly free to speak their opinions. You can make known your opinion.
I would not approve your resolution because at this point, I have no desire to support a data center anywhere in the town, in any zone of any. That doesn't, I mean, that's just my opinion. I am one of four, so.
So if I agree with Councilwoman Yerke, so if two of us agree though, I'm just saying, isn't that out of four, how does that have any strength, add any, you know?
It just means that if you had the same opinions when there was an application, that it wouldn't pass.
Okay.
And maybe it helps people with the angst to understand at least where Trish and I feel at this point in time.
Okay.
I'll speak up. I'm not for it in that particular area, but if it was in the industrial park, I may consider it. Just because of the nature, in the presentation that the folks have presented to us and the planning board has changed 3 times. So I'm not for it in any residential area. So That's why.
I have a question for you. So you said multiple times that if.
I'm sorry, we can't have a question, and you could make a statement, and if she wants to respond,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
fine.
Sorry.
But you just make a statement, please.
Sorry, no, it was a question. Sorry.
You can form it as a statement.
Oh, God, Jeopardy. I need to think on this. Sorry. I'm nervous.
What? You don't want? No?
I just had a question about the airport. Like everybody who lives up there is upset that they want to make the airport bigger and take land and whatever that ground is. Does the town board have any input on that, or is that all the city?
The city.
Even though it's.
It's the city.
Arlie, that's in the town of Warren, so I don't know, yeah.
And it's a city airport commission.
City airport, yep, I didn't know about all the land around it, I didn't.
One thing is, can I add something to the previous comment I made about data centers, unrelated but somewhat related? I might be the only person in the room who's actually worked on engineering some data center technology.
Yeah, could you state your name for the record?
Giffen Ott.
I'm sorry?
Giffen Ott. There's a lot of different novel technology out there too that does not use water, that are emergent technologies, that are closed loop systems. And so you also have the ability to, if you are dead set on having a data center in the area, which it sounds like you're split, but if you wanted to have one in an area that didn't require zoning changes, you still have the power to also provide regulatory like information saying you can't have, you could say we will refuse to have open loose evaporative cooling data centers in our area. And those are what use most in potable drinking water. And so you have the ability to also regulate a potential data center in an area that does not require a variance or rezoning. And it feels as though that is something that your community wants you to do. So that just food for thought.
Are you from Oneonta, by any chance?
I live in Sydney.
City of Oneonta?
In Sydney.
Sydney, okay, so from here. Thank you.
Is there anyone else before we move on to regular business? Michelle?
Just one thing, Cheryl Payton, County Rep for the town of Oneonta. I just want to let you know that someone spoke at the county board meeting last month about the red light up there by All-Star Village. Well, we're glad that it was there. It was a little confusing for them because it turned red and then yellow and there was no green. And so people were just kind of sitting there not knowing whether they could go or not. So I don't know if maybe when the season's over, you know, someone could talk to DOT and maybe get a green in there so that people understand when they can go and when they can't go. I just want you to know someone made that concern at the county board.
That Hawk system was designed and installed by the DOT.
Right.
I think we could all agree it's confusing. There's, I believe, Jim, maybe you can correct me, 4 others. Did you ever hear that statistic in your time? 4 other Hawk systems in installation. So they're not very common. Do you know, Jason?
I don't.
No. You said you saw one out in...
Well, we were just on vacation out west in Utah, and on our vacation there were at least 3. I took a picture, and at one of them I was sitting and just kind of, we were in a restaurant or whatever, just watching, and people out in Utah are just as confused as the people here in Oneonta. So, they're, yeah.
So yeah, I think people are equally as confused by that traffic pattern signal. When to go and when to stop. I mean, red means stop, but
It's, I don't find it that confusing, I'm sorry, but if flashing red light is a stop sign. Like, full stop. So I treat it as a stop sign.
Well, they wave you on.
That is wrong. I understand.
It's red, they put the sign up and then they take out and
Right,
they go.
there's confusion lies in the operator there, the crossing guards shouldn't be motioning at all.
we were told that the crossing people should be trained in, there was some type of training for that, but I don't think it's happening. Rex?
I went to that meeting when you guys talked about that, but what, with the DOT and everything, but what is confusing is how long that light is, and like, they can instantly change it by pressing the button, and, I mean, they don't let any cars through. I mean, you can, I've been backed up there for 10 minutes just trying to get through there because of how confusing it is.
Thank you. Well, if there aren't any further comments, there will be an additional comment period at the end of the meeting if there's something you did not say and would like to say, or haven't thought of yet. We will then move on to our committee reports. We'll start with the highway, water, and sewer. Trish, if you could start us off, please.
Great. So we've lost Jason Oplinski, so he no longer works for the town. So he, when we met with Jason and Joe, the committee met, Jason wanted to authorize the Henderson quote of $5,850 to do body conveyor conversion to the front discharge only on the 2014 International truck. So right now it's doing both. He advised that we want to convert it to do a front discharge only on the 2014 truck. So in his absence, yeah, sounds good. Okay, in his absence, do we want to pursue that? I guess we could talk with whoever, I know we'll be discussing this maybe in executive session on how we're proceeding,
Well,
but to move forward with this quote.
Trish, just for the record, Jason is on vacation. Jason has not tendered a letter of resignation, so for the record, he is using his vacation time.
Okay, so, okay, I didn't
Until
know
we have
that.
a letter for, he has not officially, he has said that, but until we receive a letter of resignation, he will be using sick time.
So we won't be able to, we'll have to handle this likely without him. Or we'll move forward in a different pattern. So is the board comfortable authorizing this vote? Do we want to wait on it? I don't know how how much we needed that for the winter.
Yeah, so I purchased this truck in my tenure at the town. It was a dual motor conveyor, so front and rear. We, since then, have only utilized a front drive conveyor system. The dual motor just leaves opportunity for failure. This is just a conversion that would, we've got a 10-year-old truck that, we're gonna eliminate one of the motors, a failure point, go through, replace sprockets, bearings, and so forth. It's just something that can be handled better at the vendor, and I recommend doing it just from my previous knowledge, not looking to get involved anymore, but I can offer you some insight like that.
No, I appreciate the insight, appreciate it. So I'll make a motion that we move forward on this, and we'll go ahead with that. It was Henderson, the quote was from Henderson, and that is in Rochester, I think.
Watertown.
Watertown?
You might have a plant in Rochester with Watertown.
Thank you, okay. All it says is the corporate on Illinois, so thank you. All right, so I've made that motion. We'll see if we can get that accomplished.
So,
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
I know, clerk call roll.
No, we need a second, and I have a question.
Joe
Oh, sorry.
seconded, yeah.
Okay, I have a question. What is the timeline on keeping that 2014 International truck? Is it slated to be rotated out of our inventory at any time soon?
It's fairly good, it's in good shape.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in good shape.
The previous replacement schedule is about 15 years. Seeing as you're on 2 years for the last truck we ordered, still waiting for it to arrive,
Yeah.
it would be very recommended to make the necessary repairs to these, seeing that you might have it for another 5 years before it cycles into I don't know, maybe a $450,000 replacement at that time.
Yeah.
At that time, just with price escalations.
And the truck that we ordered last year, it doesn't look like it's gonna be here this year, it's gonna be.
Next
It
year.
seemed to be about 2 years out.
Okay, thank you, that's helpful.
Yeah, and I've looked at the truck, and exactly what Jim described was the scenario in terms of the sprockets, chain, and stuff like that. I think it'd be a good purchase, or repair, actually, might be a better word.
Sure. $5,000 is a minimum repair on that size equipment.
Thank you all.
Any
So we
further
have our,
discussion? Clerk, call roll.
Camerata,
Yes.
Routkins,
yes,
Stuckey,
Yes.
Aller.
Yes.
Motion carries.
great. Jason shared with us roadwork updates, that he had done Woodstream, they added shoulders. I'm assuming, I think they were in good shape, the roadside mowing was done. So, does anyone have anything else? I'm gonna give the town pool over to Joe, he's been working hard on that, does anyone?
So we have 3 roads left to pave, that'll be on Cole Skills' schedule. They'll notify us. Prior to that, a road crew will go out after and do the cleanup. We also will be doing Woodstream, I believe, sealing it, top coating it. So in terms of roads, those are the 4 outstanding currently that we have, so.
Thank you. And Joe, please, at the town pool.
Pool updates, 21st Century's back over there, they're working the pump house. There's a significant amount of water, groundwater, that's coming up into the pool itself. One thought is that we're gonna contact the city of Oneonta and see if there's a water leak somewhere over there. And it's just migrating, and that's the low spot. So, we're planning on touching base with the city this week. And they're working on trenching to take care of pumping that water out of there. So, they're continuing working on it. The gutter systems have been ordered. Probably another 2 weeks, 3 weeks probably.
I talked to him 2 weeks ago, he said it was 5 weeks for the gutters.
Yeah,
So subtract out the 2 weeks plus another 2 weeks, they should be here.
So the gutter system, once that goes around, the concrete steps and liner has to go.
The liner is on, he does have the liner in the warehouse,
Yep.
so the liner's here, it's the gutters that are holding up everything.
So that's where we stand on that.
Thanks for your hard work on that, guys.
Anything, Trish?
No, why don't I put this under highway, I meant to follow up. Hem Street Park, remember the board discussed 2 years ago, we authorized just a selective thinning of the park, the trees to kind of make it, better, more light and just to clean it up. So I did reach out to the company that you spoke with, Jim. It was Northeast Timber from Walton, New York. And he's gonna work up a proposal to give us a contract. And then I'll bring it to the board next month, before next month's meeting, to review it. He was wondering if the board would be willing for them to go in and do this selective thinning of the trees in the winter time, because they're doing the big projects in the fall. I mentioned it's really dry at this time of the year. It's a nice summer, it's not muddy. He said if they do any damage to the roads, they would restore it to its condition. So if the board would be okay, he'd like to shoot for the winter and move it forward and submit a contract for your consideration to keep it going.
By all means, have them submit a contract.
Okay?
Proposal first.
Well, I'm saying proposal, exactly. That's-
Right,
thank you.
yep. So, also, Dale Webster, thank you for working on the picnic table. The park is open. So thank you for getting that work done. Do you have anything, Dale, that you wanted to add?
Just part of the cutting there, we own, the association I belong to own 200 acres in Shenango County, And in the past, we had loggers go in there and do some thinning, and they didn't do quite things properly. And now we're going through the Shenango County Soil and Water, and they sent a forester out there, and they're going through now and properly selecting the trees to be thinned and where. So that's something you might want to consider, is calling up the Conservation Department, Soil and Water, and see if we can get a forester in there with, you know, we won't have an opinion on the money, we'll just show you the proper way to thin the woods out.
I'm assuming they use a forester to do that, but I will check. That's a good.
Most loggers don't. They don't use
Oh, I
the
thought
forester.
that they only, okay.
The gentleman you spoke to in Walton is the forester.
Yeah, Rod.
Yes, Rod is a forester who then contracts with logging companies to do this type of work. He's the same, yes.
Thank you. He didn't say he was a forester, so that's, Dale, that's good to know, that the man I spoke with, Rod, is a forester, Rod Jones from
Does he,
Timber.
work for the state, or does he independent?
We're independent, Jim says. Jim, did you know you were gonna be so useful to me? So, but Dale, please reach out to me for more questions if you want to. That'd be good. Unless anyone else has anything else under this committee, I'm all set.
Okay, public safety, we don't really have anything under public safety. We'll move to facilities, technology, and parks. Trish, again, this is gonna be you, with regards to the Climate Smart Task Force update, as well as the solar panels. As everyone noticed, we had some solar panels installed. They went live on August 4th. To date, if anyone would like to know, we have generated 898.4 kilowatt hours, and since the 4th. So obviously these sunny days are helping. It's grid tied, so our meter should be going backwards as a digital meter, so we won't actually see anything actually spinning backwards, but I'm sure they have a way of, they had replaced the meter, so obviously it's a solar tied meter. So that's great. It seems to all be functioning well.
Big smile on Pat's.
Yeah, Pat, thank you for being here for your listener. Thank you guys for all your work. Yep, Andrea, there he is. Thank you for all your work and dedication to the project, all paid for with grant money. Thank you all. Yep, so that covers that. Brett, thank you.
Is there anything else you want to discuss with regards to Climate Smart? Any future plans? We've talked about the insulation.
That's gonna happen, right?
Yep, that's funded as well. So I can, speak with Nicole when we want to get started.
I think she's already made.
Has she got an appointment?
Yeah. Correct.
Great.
All right, moving on to legislative, Kim.
Nothing to report this month.
Okay, for human resources and public benefit, our new code officer, Clinton Greerwick, started last week. He's going to be replacing Paul Neske, who's been our codes officer for, I don't remember how many years now, 18 was it? It was 18 years. Clinton's been working with him the last 2 weeks. So Paul can update him on all the different things we have going on in the town. Seems to be going well. We also had a new water operator, Jared Hoteling, start with us. He will be heading up our water department. He is currently between 2 jobs, so he's working part-time, working with our current water technicians to come up to speed with everything we got going on in the town. Moving on to, we'll move to code enforcement. Well, attorney.
Nothing.
Nothing, okay. Code enforcement, as I said, Paul is leaving. We've got a lot of different projects on the plate, on his plate. However, I think Paul will be leaving, when he leaves on Friday, the town will be left in good hands. Clinton seems to be doing a great job so far. We're on to miscellaneous. We have a vote to set a public hearing for a zoning amendment application for Marty Patton and Chris Maybe, Emmons Farmhouse, parcel converted to B2. So we've had an application. We've actually, two applications came in. One was for a zoning map amendment and the other one was for a minor subdivision. The minor subdivision will be handled by the planning board. However, the town board will be responsible for a zoning map amendment. He's requesting the property be zoned B2. It is currently across from B2 properties. I have here, I printed this out, this is the newest map. That was submitted by Rasmussen Land Surveyors. What, obviously tonight, what we would be doing would be making a motion to set a public hearing. Public hearing would be in 1 month's time. At the next regularly scheduled board meeting, and at that time, obviously it's a public hearing, so the public would come and discuss their views on the said project. Currently, like I said, it is looking for a zoning map amendment to change the zone of the property. It was previously, or is currently still a part of Emmons Farms Estates, and they'd like to subdivide 1.234 acres off that. Is there any discussion?
What is the commercial project? It says multi-story wood frame building.
That's what's currently there.
Yep, so is this, do they have something specific?
Yes, we previously discussed that.
The same,
Correct.
okay.
They're looking to site a Stewart's gas station and convenience store on site. But before they even do that, they need to subdivide the property as well as have a zoning map amendment that would permit a service station.
Can I ask a question on this map right here? This is then what's in green is what,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
Do you, and just because I don't know how to read this map, do you know what these little dots mean? Like here and here and here?
Well, the one that's, only thing that's been holding up is this right here, this line.
Okay.
That's our lighting district, and the property's in two different lighting districts.
Okay.
Which held them up because they went back and forth whether they wanted to contain the property all in one lighting district, which would make it easier in terms of taxation. However, when they went through the process of, in order to define where the lighting district actually is, although that's a line on the map, realistically, they would have to find the abstracts of the town when we created the lighting district, go back and survey any known highway markers, decide whether the road has moved or not moved over the years, and I guess the amount of paperwork far outweighed the problematic of just receiving 2 tax bills. So they'll receive 2 tax bills, one for the.
One for this little.
Yep, and then that little triangular part up top would be a different tax thing. For them, the negative part would be that now their notifications that they would have to make are gonna double. Specifically because the other parcel known as Emmons Farms Estates goes all the way up Emmons Farms. So now, significantly up Emmons Farms. So as a result, they have to do their circle around that. So it went from maybe a half a page, I think Wendy told me today, it's 3 pages now of notifications.
Well, I noticed that, because our house is up there, and I noticed we were not on that,
You would be now.
but now we would be.
Correct, correct. Because they were trying to get it all in one. We said, why don't you just straighten the line out? And we didn't realize the complexity in doing so. I spoke with Jimmy Rasmussen, the owner of Rasmussen Associates yesterday, or land surveyors. We had a very long conversation that kind of really made me completely understand that it's not just saying we move a line, which I thought it was.
So we're setting a public hearing for the zone change, not for taking this piece of property away from Emmons, or agreeing to take it away.
That would be correct. The subdivision
Uh-huh,
would, and they can go concurrently, would be the planning board.
okay.
And then again, the planning board would also be doing the site plan.
Okay.
So there's other layers to that.
Okay.
And in each case, they would have to have a public hearing. So they're effectively 3 public hearings away
Okay.
from anything. So let me just see. Any other further discussion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to set a public hearing.
September 10th?
That's fine, September 10th.
Maybe that's the second. Let's look at my calendar
Roughly
here.
7:05.
I'll second that motion. Discussion? Any further discussion before we call the roll?
Call the roll and then I'll say something. Okay.
Sure.
Kim Roy,
Yes.
Doug Hens,
No.
Kirsten,
I am, I'm gonna say yes, but I would like to say that I'm voting yes for a public hearing. It is not a vote for or against the project in front of us. It is a vote for the democracy of how our processes work. I encourage everyone who came tonight to speak either for or against, to have their voice heard at the public hearing as part of our rights as citizens. And I also encourage everyone to keep an eye on the website for our agendas, as your voice at public hearings and our meetings is important.
Holland? Yes.
And I wanted to follow up too with a statement at the last couple meetings too. I've stated it, I'm not interested in rezoning this parcel for several reasons: environmental, neighborhood character, so forth. I've stated these things before, so that's my rationale to not move forward with a public hearing, because I'm not interested in rezoning that area.
Motion carries.
motion carries.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Next item on our agenda is to vote to assume lead agency in accordance with 6 NYCRR Part 617.6B seeker regarding the Cooperstown All-Star Village water systems improvement projects, otherwise known as West End Water District 002. Would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, one, it's not to assume it, but the intent to become lead agency, because after you, the motion here, then we send it out to the involved interest agencies, you know, DOT, DOH, and they can comment, which they usually don't, but it's just the intent to become lead agents. In the June meeting, I presented you guys the map plan report for the water system project for the Cooperstown All-Star Village. This is kind of the next step into forming the district. Now that you accepted the map plan report, we have a project. This is a kind of a short form unlisted action. It's just a few thousand feet. It comes out of the city, across their parking lot, across the road by the traffic signal, and then down into the complex. It's just to do the environmental review for it. So part one's been filled out. And then we'll send it out to the involved interest agencies, and then next month we can pull together parts 2 and 3 of the process to look at what determinations are made and make a final determination at the next board meeting.
Yeah, so just add that Department of Justice did provide draft resolution in short form that was sent out to the board. I don't have any additional comments on that resolution. As Jason stated, we would be making a motion to be lead agency, which will allow us to make that determination in September. Because of how this district is formed, I don't find that public hearings going to be required, so we should be able to move forward with final approval once we complete secret next month. The only thing, Jason, I was thinking is, in terms of 30 days, if we don't get responses back, we might be a little short for meeting September 10th.
September 10th.
So we may want to encourage those agencies to
Yep, we can do that.
comment on it, or, at least say they don't disagree with it, so.
One other thing, Jason, the county 239M, you got that on your list too?
What's that?
239M to the county for review.
Okay.
County's large impact.
Yep. State county.
Brett, were you able to talk with, I don't know if it was Jason or Cooperstown All-Star Village about trying, helping out our fire department off of some of this stuff?
With regards to?
Filling up their tanks,
Fire hydrant.
hydrant.
No, we have not furthered that discussion.
I don't know when that falls in,
Yeah, our goal here, and for everyone in the audience that doesn't understand or doesn't know, this is just the formation of a district. Cooperstown All-Star Village has requested water from the city of Oneonta. However, the city would like a district formed in order to provide them with water. The reason for formation would be if they didn't pay their water bill, they'd have no recourse in forcing them to pay. So by the town forming a water district, then the city would be able to receive their money regardless. So they've asked us to do that, but it is city water that they'd be looking to do, and it's completely at the Cooperstown All-Star Village's expense. There'd be no expense to the town in any way, shape, or form. And it's Water District 002, because the city has also asked us to, they provided us with a map plan review. They would like the west end of Oneonta, which does have city water currently. They'd like to form a district for that as well, because they currently have a lot of users that are not paying their bills and they have no recourse. So by doing so, they would have recourse as well. So we're in current discussions or negotiations with the city over that. This hinges on that, but we have a final draft. The city council wants one and the other to go together. So one would be West End Water District 001, and this would be West End Water District 002. It's realistically mostly just legal paperwork. What it does, it wouldn't change anyone's rates, wouldn't change anyone's service, or any of that. And within the agreements, the city is solely responsible for the repair, maintenance, and replacement of any of their water lines or infrastructure. So those things will not change.
Thanks for recapping for everyone, that's good.
So we need a vote.
Yes, would be a motion to approve the resolution as drafted. Again, that resolution states that it's an unlisted action, that the town board will assume lead agency, that we've reviewed part one. What's that?
You want me to say, how do you reconcile the intent as far as opposed to assumption? Because you said there was intent to not assume the agency. I just want to clear.
Intent, notice of intent to assume lead agency.
Yes.
And then we can formally assume lead agency once the 30 days has passed.
Okay. Is that in the resolution here?
Yes.
Yep.
Second.
Okay.
So this would just allow the town to sign part one and get this out to all the involved and interested agencies.
I'll make the motion. As stated.
I'll second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Cameron?
Yes.
Wilkins?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
All in favor?
Okay, next item on the agenda is we're going to we have a vote to adopt a retirement benefit plan or improvement plan of section 41J. And this cost is associated with this plan for eligible members in the town of Oneonta. Section 41-J allows members to receive additional service credit for their unused unpaid sick time at the time of retirement. Based on the salary support of the town of Oneonta and applicable billing rates for the town, the New York State fiscal year, the estimated annual cost of town of Oneonta would be $1,518. So effectively, we're updating our retirement plan for the cost of all the employees. It's not per person, $1,518, and it allows them to convert their sick time, which we currently do not have.
I think this is a really great benefit to our employees, and I think it will also help with not using, just using up sick leave if they were gonna,
Correct.
use it or lose it sort of thing, which has often stranded us sometimes, so I think this is good.
Go ahead, make a motion.
Sure, I'll make a motion to adopt the retirement benefit plan improvement of section 41-J.
I'll second.
Clerk, call roll.
Ken Marada.
Yes.
Bill Coons.
Yes.
Vicky.
Yes.
Holland.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, sorry. Next item on the agenda is to vote to accept the minutes of the July meeting. Now, before we vote to accept them, I think we had a request from
The June.
from June, okay, to amend, so not for,
We'll go review and.
okay, but for the July minutes then.
So Brian, would you, we'll vote on that. Yeah, let's vote now and then I'll ask Brian about June again.
Yeah, we can do.
Can you just let us know? Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Before we vote on July, could we maybe pause on that just to make sure we collected all the voices in July?
There's no reason we can't do that.
So I'd
I'm
like,
speaking for Ryan, but.
Yeah, that's,
I agree.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we'll move on to vote to approve the bills.
That was a big one to swallow.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, there's some big bills there.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest ones was for solar.
In the fire,
the fire.
$477,000.
Yeah, it's a big bill.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
Clerk.
Ken Marada.
Yes.
Bill Coons.
Yes?
Vicky.
Yeah.
Holland.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Bless you. Before we adjourn, we'll again ask privilege of the floor. Again, if there's anyone here that has anything to say for the good of the betterment of our community, please feel free. Arlie?
I'm just curious how the survey is going for the short-term rentals, so I can do that in a lot of response, or like is that?
Yes, we did. We have, sorry, I should have looked that up. We were having good response, and then I know we had some troubles, and so I'm hoping that we can get it. And then my
Technical troubles.
technical troubles, and then my my town email and system stopped working, so that took a bit to get fixed. So I can tell you as of right now. If you bear with me a moment.
And so, while Kim's looking that up, I wanted to say, we have a short-term rental ad hoc committee, just, there's a link on the town website, everyone, that you can click on and do a survey on any thoughts or concerns or input you have, negative or positive, on short-term rentals. It's your community. Let us know what's on your mind. There's still a glitch as far as I know, Kim, about if you don't have a Gmail address, but I mean, I've been trying it on different devices. Maybe if people could email Ryan or submit to you and I.
Yeah, that would be great.
In writing, or suggestion box. Do you think we should have a box?
Well, you could just have a written, print out that, it's a Google form, so you're gonna have to have a Google account in order to access it.
Not everybody does. What do you think, though?
Well, we could print out the survey.
Yeah.
We could just print it out and have it available at the town clerk's
That would be
office
good.
to pick it up. If that's, someone would like to do that, I mean, the responses could be recorded in the same fashion. It might not be, you could then hear them yourself.
Yeah.
It's really very short. The biggest two questions are any thoughts or concerns about short-term rentals in the town. suggestions for improving rental regulation or enforcement. I mean, otherwise then we asked, do you want a committee member to follow up? We asked, what road do you live on and do you live in the town? But right now, I can tell you, Arlene, we've got 37 responses.
That's it?
Yes, but part of it is.
I tried the link and it's not working.
And so that's our problem.
It did work.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked for me.
It did work for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gmail.
The link should be active. I think the QR code and, the QR code isn't working, and then if you don't have a Gmail account.
And any other comments, they all have our emails addressed. I mean, we got 3 or 4 emails from residents over at Emmons.
Yep.
So, you could always email us.
Yeah, there's a link on the town website to our contact. Kim, were you done with the short-term rental?
Yeah,
Actually, there was a
unless there
question.
was any other questions.
I wanted to say I recognize some neighbor spaces and stuff from, I'm sure you're thinking of Emmons, so there's a public hearing, as Brett said, it'll be on September 10th, around 7 o'clock roughly, a public hearing, so please make your voices heard, your concerns, just to remind you about that coming up, and we'll look over the petition that Will submitted as well. So thank you all for taking your time.
Is there anyone else? Dave?
The time for when notifications go out, the certified mail notifications, you might need to look at the length of time, lengthening it because of postal delivery issues. I mean, we had one that was admittedly, it was sent from out of state, it was sent from Texas, but we didn't get it until after the meeting had already occurred. And that was it 10 days as it currently stands? Is that correct?
10 business days.
10 business days, right. So, and then, if nobody's home to receive it, then it goes back to the post office, you have to go claim the certified letter. My point is just that there may not be adequate time for people to get notified, especially if it's coming from out of state. And I know, we have dates on that, and like I say, the meeting had already taken place when we got the notification. It wasn't something that we were gonna propose or even attend necessarily, but I think the notification duration should be at least considered.
Something worth discussing, thank you.
Is that a New York State law? How do you know?
Can be set by a local law.
You can? Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Before we adjourn, there's something I did miss. I was supposed to checking things off, and we do, as a board, need to discuss. We haven't had a reevaluation of town properties in over 10 years. Our current tax assessor, Pam Gold, has indicated that and is interested in potentially putting forth a proposal for doing so. I don't know if it's something we want to entertain. 10 years is beyond what we normally. Some municipalities obviously are significantly longer. I know everybody, including myself, hates the thought of a reevaluation because your taxes could go up, but they always say a third goes up, a third goes down, and a third stays the same. I don't know if they just say that or there's any truth to it, but it's something you want to just start thinking about, and we could discuss at the next meeting.
Yeah, we were going to do that. Remember, Brett, you were on the board then a few years ago, and then the assessor didn't do, the former assessor.
Maxwell, yes.
Right, it didn't
Correct.
happen, so, it was kind of something we looked at doing then, so.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So it's just something
Yeah, we should give
that I have on the list I
consideration.
wanted to. Anything else? We do have to go in executive session to discuss personnel. So if there's no one else has anything to contribute, we have to thank you and please.
I'll make a motion to go in executive session.
Yeah, for the purpose of
Personnel.
Thank you. I'll second that. Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Let's go back to 10th.